Breaking right now on Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock on Local 3, Russia continues its march across Ukraine with a miles-long convoy that is now making its way to the capital, and world leaders are scrambling for solutions to the largest conflict in Europe since World War II.
We are together now. We will be together in the future because we are with Ukraine. Thank you.
And this morning, the president of Ukraine told the EU Parliament his country is fighting, quote, to become an equal member of Europe. His emotional speech prompted a standing ovation at the European Union gathering. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Overnight, the Secretary General of NATO said there's no need to change the nuclear weapons alert level despite Russia's recent threats. It is now day 6 of the invasion. New satellite images from Colorado-based Maxar show a convoy of Russian military vehicles closing in on Kyiv. The convoy is 40 miles long, as you can see from this image.
Also, we have dramatic video from Ukraine's second largest city. This is in Kharkiv, and a massive explosion there, taking out a government building in the city center. Russian forces have reportedly surrounded the city there. Ukraine's president has called the attacks on civilians war crimes and terrorism. More than 400 civilians have been killed in the fighting. Also, the UN estimates about 660,000 refugees have left Ukraine.
Back here in the U.S., this is a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where tonight President Biden will address the invasion of Ukraine during his first State of the Union speech. He's also expected to talk about progress made in the pandemic. COVID cases have dropped more than 30% over the last 3 weeks. The White House says the economy will also take center stage, especially with rising gas prices and high inflation.
The Republican response to the State of the Union speech will not be given by a congressional representative or a senator. Instead, it will be given by the governor of Iowa. Kim Reynolds here is the first woman elected governor of Iowa. She was elected back in 2018 and has also served Iowa as a county treasurer, state senator, and lieutenant governor. You can watch President Biden's State of the Union speech over on Denver 7 tonight. ABC News coverage will begin at 7 p.m. and we'll have special coverage of the address and reaction afterwards on Denver 7 News at 10. Taking a live look outside from our mile-high camera, much calmer conditions over Colorado today. Really nice spring-like weather, Lisa.
Remember when it was, what, 0 last week and I said it would be a distant memory?
It is.
Yeah, I guess
forget?
so.
Yeah.
Not quite. I remember.
I know. Still thawing out, right? It will be pretty close to some of the record highs here over the next couple of days. 74 degrees, today's record high. We're calling for mid-60s today. Tomorrow, though, closer to 70. Now, this coming weekend, it is still March, still winter. We're going to see 30s and snow. But for the next few days, some nice thawing weather. Mid to upper 50s by about 11 o'clock. And then we'll climb another 5 to 7 degrees above that. So mid-60s, Denver right around 65 for a high today. We've got Highlands Ranch, Parker, Denver, all at 65. Same thing there in Boulder. 50s for the Front Range Mountains. So really mild up and through the foothills, too. Evergreen today, upper 50s. Coming up, we'll take a look at how things are going to cool down. I'll show you the timing of that and when we're going to get more snow in the mountains for some spring skiing.
Oh, yeah. We're looking at a pretty good drive for a few of us. We have really heavy traffic. I'm trying to be somewhat optimistic because I-25 is just a mess. We finally have, as you take a look from the camera, right by Mile High, finally have all lanes open now on the southbound side. So this is the southbound side. You can see some of the remnants of where the crash was. 6 vehicles in there. Finally, all lanes are open. And the drive time, though, it's really lengthy, unfortunately. About an hour and a half is what's registering. There was also another crash in there right near 84th Avenue, so heavy stop-and-go traffic all the way through there. It will start to get better. It's just going to take some time. Unfortunately, I-70 was carrying a lot of traffic. That was trying to avoid 270. We still have a pretty bad crash here at Iliff and Chambers with some lanes blocked in that intersection, causing big delays. And I want to take you over here to I-25 and 225, where they have the new lights right here. They have not been turned on. The meter ramp signals have not been turned on yet, but you see a lot of stop-and-go traffic, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do pop on here soon. I'll keep an eye on that situation for you right now, but it's about 15 minutes down from Parker Road.
Well, new this hour, the Marshall Fire debris cleanup has been pushed back to next Monday at the earliest. The county announced a deal recently with a Louisiana contractor. It said that the process could start as early as today. Again, that's been pushed back a week, but the timetable has cleanup completed by July 1st if the weather cooperates.
So we'll check with the county today to see what's created that delay and how it could impact the schedule. Also today, Louisville City Council will discuss suspending new building codes that could make rebuilding homes more expensive. Dozens of homeowners rallied over the weekend over some of the requirements. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us. And Christian, those same people are expected to be at the meeting today.
Yeah, they are. People who lost homes say that they want the cities to suspend new building codes that would make it a lot more expensive to rebuild here. Those new codes went into effect just a month before the Marshall Fire in 2021. And as you mentioned, people gathered for a rally this weekend to express their frustrations. You can see that in this video. Now, new homes would have to be net zero. And what this means is that they would have to have Energy Star appliances, higher insulation materials, solar panels, and other things like vehicle charging stations as well. And residents say this would all cost an additional $20,000 to $100,000 at a time when they're already dealing with so much.
It's been an overwhelming experience. No 2 days are alike. We're just trying to stabilize our lives.
The council will be discussing this tonight. The meeting starts at 6 p.m. and they expect to hear from a lot of people who are upset about this issue. Live in Louisville this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. The Boulder County Sheriff's Office is also reminding Marshall Fire victims to report if they lost any firearms during the fire. In order to report a missing firearm, you do need to have the serial number from the weapon. If you lost that, you can call the place where you bought the gun, and they should also have a record. The Isabella Thallis Act went into effect across Colorado last year, requiring gun owners to report lost or stolen firearms. Last night, some popular musicians joined forces to support victims of the Marshall Fire.
I don't know where we are, but it will be okay.
The Lumineers here, one of dozens of bands, including the Dave Matthews Band and Ben Rector, who also performed during a virtual concert last night. Tickets were $10 each. All the proceeds go to the Marshall Fire recovery efforts. The stream will still be available until 7 o'clock tonight. You can still buy a $10 ticket and add a donation if you wish, if you want to watch it. If you've been wanting to get involved in politics, it's caucus week in Colorado. Republicans and Democrats are holding neighborhood caucuses today through Saturday.
You get together at one location and you choose leaders for your neighborhood that represent your party and turn out the vote. And then you also get to elect what's called delegates for county, congressional, and state assemblies to select the candidates you want to see on the primary ballot for your party.
And when you know that you're basically there to volunteer, to be a precinct organizer, to support a candidate, to decide who gets on the ballot, you don't have to have ever gone before or know anyone.
You can get more information and find your caucus on the Colorado GOP and Democratic Party's websites. The upcoming switch to daylight saving time might leave you feeling drowsy. It could even make you late or create safety issues. But Colorado lawmakers are talking about getting rid of daylight saving time today. Yeah, we've talked about it before, so I don't know how hopeful I am. Denver 7's Veronica ACOSTA joins us live with this new chapter in a debate that goes back years. Veronica.
So about 2 weeks from now, we spring forward. You guys all know this. That means we lose about an hour of sleep. And Nicole, you said it. Do we get rid of daylight saving time? Yes or no? That's the discussion that has happened for years now. And today it continues with Senate Bill 22-135. So that would keep us on Mountain Standard Time without daylight saving time, just like Arizona does. The bill's still very much in its early stages. It was introduced back in February. So if this bill were to be approved, that means Colorado voters, that's where they would come in. They'd vote on it during the November 2022 general election. If approved, that's when we'd see those changes go through. The state would no longer have to observe daylight saving time come 2023, and we'd be in Mountain Standard Time the entire year. So that means no losing an hour of sleep, but also no gaining an hour of sleep later on either. So the bill, like I mentioned, still very much under consideration. And of course, we'll keep you updated on how this goes. We're in Denver this morning. I'm Veronica ACOSTA, Denver 7.
It would be great for us because it would be darker earlier in the evening
Yes, and we
throughout
could
the year.
go to sleep,
And we
yeah.
could go to bed. So
We're in favor.
yes. Thanks, Veronica. Crews in Brighton are working as fast as they can to repair these sinkholes. The city says it's working with a contractor, but it should take a few days. So we want to get to traffic expert Jason Luber. There's a four-block area shut down. Jason, how do you get around it?
Yeah, let me show you up there in Brighton here, just north of Bridge Street. This is the neighborhood where the sinkholes are affecting the traffic, and it's really affecting mostly Long Peak Drive. So, and it's one of the roads that goes across the railroad tracks, so it's pretty residential in here. You'll be able to get around it pretty easily, but you could always use Bridge Street, 160th. You could use 168th if you need to get across the railroad tracks. You could also get across the railroad tracks if you need to, and then go through the neighborhood. It's just going to take you a couple extra minutes to avoid that area.
The clock is ticking for Major League Baseball and the Players Union to reach a deal on a new labor contract. The deadline set for opening day to still happen as planned.
Plus, Denver is ranked as one of the top cities to host the World Cup. What puts us ahead of other major cities?